Hey, welcome all. Welcome to Mark Reacts. I hope you can see me there. Here we go. Hopefully now. Anyway, yeah, welcome. I hope you're all well. Hope everything's good with everybody. I've got 4 more memos I'm going to take a look at and give my opinion. So, don't get offended, it's just my opinion. Not that I'm really getting much feedback from this channel, but I'll give you a bit more info at the end of this memo video. So anyway, without me waffling too much, let's get on with the memos again. So here we go. Right, this is a memo. It says, what archaeologists will find 5,000 years from now? And it's somebody with a mobile phone. Obviously you can see it from there, and a skeleton. Yeah, I mean, I suppose when you think about it, I've probably said it before on this channel, it is pretty true, isn't it? Everybody is become obsessed with their mobile phones. A bit too much, they sort of seem to depend on them for everything. I mean, from my own experience, which is my opinion as well, I've been in shops in chip shops or in wherever, like in just general shops or just waiting by the bus stop. When I used to go on buses a long time ago, even that was a long time ago, like 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, people would always, whereas one time you'd have a chat with somebody or whatever. The only exception is I went in a dentist once and I sat in there, and most people had their phones out. It was 3 or 4 people in there. The last lady that came in did actually just have a magazine or a book, which was quite rare. But yeah, the way it's all looking now with all these phones, which I'm sure you're all aware of, with what they're supposed to do with people paying for stuff, people, using their phones for practically everything, monitoring their heart, and and it's made a convenience, isn't it? So everybody wants it. Oh, we want it until you find out. Hang on a minute. It's restricting me because of X, Y, Z, or I'm trying to do something and my phone is now overpowering me and becoming too powerful. They're called a cell phone for a reason. Think about it. I mean, I haven't got my phone on me now, but I've got a very simple old phone that I very rarely use. I'm not knocking people that do use them. I'm just saying be careful. So that's my opinion anyway. Please give your feedback, and there is more to say, but I don't want to make things too much of a long video. Like I said, cell phone. Remember that. Yeah, and let's get on to the next memo. Let's have a look. Right, when you hear people talking about things that actually matter, what's up, guys? And coming out and go, yeah, I mean, it's true. I've had this conversation with many people online that it would be nice to meet people, or you're somewhere, and you hear, I was in a chip shop again or whatever with a friend and stuff, and I heard someone, talking about, stuff I'm into and stuff like that. Stuff I'm coming out and I'm like, we're both feeding off each other. And before you know it, we've been there for 2 hours. And I'm like, God, I got things to do. And yeah, it's very true. When you find so-called like-minded people, I mean, things that matter, it's what matters to you. Lots of people would talk amongst themselves about Daniel O'Donnell or Cliff Richard or Disney or something, and that's their choice. I'm not saying that that's like the other end of it, of people that you find somebody that's interested in whatever you're interested in. Different strokes for different folks, as we always say. And yeah, and it's the same. It is literally the same with that. Yeah, when I hear somebody, or I'm like, whoa, they're talking about stuff that I'm out there, and we're feeding off each other, and we're like, oh my God, how could it be? There was 2 guys that came in once as well, and this guy, I don't think I know everything, because people keep saying, you think I don't, that's rubbish, but this guy was just phenomenal. I was like, oh my God, I should have probably got his name and address and stuff to go and have more connection with him. The stuff he knew was, but it's taken it all in at that time. Anyway, yeah, that is about this memo anyway, so let me know what you think, and your opinion. Okay, let's look on to the next memo. Okay, preventative use of homeopathy was first applied in 1799 during an epidemic of scarlet fever in Königssee, Germany, when Dr. Henneman prescribed a single dose of belladonna as the remedy of the genus Epidemius to susceptible children in the town, with more than a 95% success rate. Yeah, I mean, that's just a small example of herbs and home therapy and stuff like that, and natural things working, before some industries came along that's just saying we know who that is, and sort of said, no, they're rubbish, they don't work. When the people that promote these, the main person of this industry, the so-called modern medical system, actually took herbs and natural stuff himself, but then gave, let's say petrochemicals, I'm going to say, like petrochemicals and pills and things to everybody else for money. Yet for himself, it's well documented. If you look up who I'm talking about, I think we know who that is, people that are in the know. Yeah, he actually used herbs and stuff like that on himself. Yeah, lots of other big families with big names and stuff use naturopath doctors and stuff like that. They don't use so-called allopathic things because they know really what's good and what's not. But for some people, just don't find that out, do they? Sometimes till it's too late. Anyway, that's not me. Not me. I'm not going to go into one about that. But what's your opinion? Let's hear your opinion. Here we go. Right, let's go on to the last memo, I think. Oh yeah, now this is another subject, so don't going mental over it. I know a lot of people do. This is probably reflected in me, but it's just me personally. It says, I'm not an atheist. I believe that a higher power exists. You just can't oppress me with religion. It's true, isn't it? Like, I'm on that scale. I mean, I don't know what scale you're on, I'm sure. And I'm not going to be disrespectful. I respect everybody's choice, opinions, on whatever they want to do. So I'm not knocking anybody for anything. So this is not about knocking, this is about telling you my opinion and my experience. And that's what it is. So I'm not going to be offensive. Obviously, I believe in freedom of choice. But yeah, I do believe that a higher power exists. But I also believe, or I know, not believe, but believe, if you believe, it means you don't know. So, make sure when you use the word believe that you know it means you don't know. So I know through history that a lot of religion, I'm going to say I can't, and this is my opinion, or that has caused more problems than help people. They sort of go on about peace and this and that and blah blah blah, but never seem to be able to achieve it. And obviously God comes from within. We've got consciousness. We know, most people know right from wrong and all that, and that's the Creator. We show compassion, love, caring when things happen and stuff, and God is within him, and that's always going to be what I'd say, whether it's God, the Creator. I don't want to go too philosophical about it all, but that's my. But as I said, everyone to their own choice. Absolutely, I couldn't. I spoke to people in all sorts of religions, non-religions, people that don't believe in nothing, and I couldn't, they have that choice, of course, but talking from this memo without waffling too much, that's my opinion. A higher power does exist, whatever you want to describe it as, but not oppressed and taken out of you, saying, you've got to go to church, you must go to this place and that place, and God's not within you, it's without you. You have to pray to God and hope that he's going to do this and that. Within you, you are God. You're looking at God every time you look at, or the Creator every time. We're all created with like a self-built in, like an operating system in a similar way, that we've got everything in us. Okay, there are bad people, but that is just a glitch in the matrix, if you want to look at it, or something that they need to sort out themselves. People say, they should punish and all that. And there's a God that's going to punish them. They'll get punished in whatever way that the Creator or the higher power is going to do, when it's nothing to do with us. In that context, we don't look at it. Shouldn't look at it in that way. But yeah, if you look at all the problems religion and that's caused, I'm going to be honest, I can't really say that there's any good, and it's too oppressive and controlling and false promises and all that. Look up George Carlin if you want, if you really want to go along the trail I'm going along. But maximum respect to anybody that wants freedom to do what they want to do. Okay, so yeah, this is my one of my last few videos because it's not looking that good. But I put some links in the description if you want to follow me on social media. I'm on a lot of social media sites. So if you look at those and think, I'm on one of them, come and look me up. Feel free, friend request, follow me or whatever. I've also linked another guy in the description there, which seems maybe a little bit more interesting than me. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit silly about it. There's a guy called, I do actually follow him as well. There's a guy called Michael Nottingham Aldick's got about 1,300 subscribers, so he's obviously pretty interesting. So yeah, feel free to go and check him out. Big up to Michael. He's a nice, sweet soul. Bless him. So yeah, that's it from me at the moment for this video. I've got a few more music ones I'm going to do, and then I'll call it a day for a while, and unless things pick up a little bit or whatever. But maximum respect and much love to you all. Thank you for your time and your help, and have a blessed day. Look after yourselves and each other. Take care. Bye.